Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, we will be talking about a very large winter storm, a massive one that is currently bombarding portions of the southwest and into portions of California and Nevada. It did affect already kind of the northwest a bit previously, and it will continue to affect California and the southwest well into today. You're right, the rest of today into tomorrow and Tuesday, and by Tuesday late at night into Wednesday, it starts finally spilling out into the central and kind of midwest portion of the United States, where it also will have pretty significant impacts, and some of them may not be as direct as you think from this system. Obviously there will be rain, potential for a bit of snow as well, but there will be some other ones that will be going over as well. Before I do get into this any further, I do want to say that, check out the channel, check out the video if you do enjoy my weather reports, obviously, and consider subscribing. And if you have any comments or concerns, please leave them down below. Otherwise, let's start talking about this winter storm. So right now, I just want to show you the radar because, I'm going to show you the models as well, what it's going to do in the future. But this thing is already occurring. And actually, let me first show you the National Weather Service Weather Ready Nation map. And it shows us all like the watches, warnings, advisories that the National Weather Service has issued for, various areas and whatever. It could issue it wherever and across the United States, depending on, what's occurring. And you can see a lot of wind advisories. Those are those brown colorations. We have some high wind warnings, which is strong wind. We have some winter storm watches. A lot of that pink is winter storm warnings. Winter storm watches just north of Los Angeles. Look at some of this rain that could be occurring. A lot of rain very far to the south. Folks, this is very, very good news. You can see you're right there. There are many locations, widespread inch to 2 inches, and in the higher elevations, maybe up towards 3 inches, where we see on the south sloping slopes, it squeezes out basically the more moisture than it typically would end across the lower elevations. Notice that across cities like Los Angeles, this is Hanford, California office. You can see also a very impactful event, especially for the mountains. Moving up a bit further towards the north, notice what we have here is quite a bit of rain as well for Los Angeles. Let's just take a look at some of these larger cities, right? Because why not? You can see, it's a lot of rain, 100% pretty much every day, starting early tomorrow night into Tuesday, ending Tuesday night. Will be another wave into Thursday and Thursday night. I do want to show you that some of these warnings for the mountains are, calling for a lot. I mean, a ton of snow, 80 to 100, 80 to 100, 80 to 100. And again, I do think that there will be several locations that get over 100 inches, if not more. This is the rain equivalent, so obviously this just shows snow, which you can see is legendary by all means. 80 to 100 inches. I mean, that's as big as these events usually get without being historic. Usually a few of these occur per year. I would even say few. Sometimes they do. In the past there hasn't been, but they need this snowpack. It's just in the long term they need that, but in the short term it just might be a bit too much. Hold on, I want to go back here and click on this. Why am I having a tough time trying to find these offices? Okay, so I managed to find the image back up, pull it back up with that snow forecast. Again, a lot of snow, but I wanted to show you the rain, because this shows the equivalent of water for the southern elevations, or the areas that don't see the snow. Notice not that much just west, say, of Chico, but the coastal areas all the way through Santa Rosa, San Fran, 1 to 2 inches, Sacramento, 2 to 3, Yosemite, 5 to 7.5 inches, Grass Valley, 5 to 7, around Oroville, which is a bit further towards the north here still. Decent amounts of rain as well. I mean, they're really a big one for especially the Central Sierra. And we do have the same story for, say, Nevada. You can see winter storm watches, all these snowfall outlooks that are quite a bit of that snow, obviously, they're forecasting for. And I do want to show you the radar. Let me take off the winter storm warning layover and just show you that it has been going on. I mean, this is a 6-hour radar loop, so the past 6 hours, right? Decent chunk of time. Again, it's just been positioned over the central northern area of the Sierra, and it's just been hammering these locations. Look, one after the other. You're right. I mean, just hour after hour going through. It's a bit buggy, but there we go. We're gonna fix that and make it more smooth. There we go. So notice that we do have quite a bit of lighter rates occurring, but as we push this further and further into time, we do have some stronger precipitation rates starting to show up across San Francisco. And again, the mountains are squeezing out a lot of precipitation. And this will continue for several days, which is why this makes it such a big event. The snowfall amounts, they are definitely falling. I've seen a few reports, but they're rather outdated. There's like 4 inches at I think like 10 o'clock in the morning across some of these locations. So, I mean, it's been snowing all day. You can imagine probably several locations approaching close to a foot. Let's take a look at the HER model. So, this is a high res model, right, that goes out to not very far, but every 6 hours it releases a run that goes out to 48. This one was the 18Z. So, again, it's about a few hours old, this information, but really a lot of this is unchanged. And notice what we see, right? We see an intensification of that precip as we put into 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. And by the way, this is Central Standard Time, so 2 a.m. For the Central Time Zone would be 12 a.m. for, 12 a.m. for California. And notice that it gets pretty intense, pretty darn intense. Some of those rainfall rates, and we see an overall quite a increased amount of precip into tomorrow, and we start seeing the approaching of the actual storm. This is just kind of the precip out ahead of that system, and look how quickly that precipitation intensifies. We see some very, very, very heavy snowfall rates here into late tomorrow, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the Sierras are getting just absolutely pounded, to say the least. And you can see it does start shifting into more of Nevada, into Idaho, as we put this into Tuesday, right? And more of Los Angeles, Hanford, the southern area, San Diego, and more of, Las Vegas. And this total snowfall from this side across, the southwest is rather extraordinary, especially across the mountains. Again, this isn't the full entire event, but most of it for especially the northern kind of half. And you can see definitely additional amounts as there probably are already snowfall totals approaching a foot and a half. Probably another additional 50, 60 again inches to get that 80 to 100 inch total, which the National Weather Service forecasts to be, which in terms of water is a lot. It's definitely a lot of precipitation, guys. Several inches in the most highest of the elevations where we get those, maybe even up to 100 plus inches. It could be over 6 to 7 inches of water equivalency, which is a good amount. And again, this doesn't take us to the entirety. Let's take a look at this model. It's more long range, and you can see it also shows many locations potentially well over 6 inches of rain or liquid equivalent. And as we push this forward, you can see that kind of spreads towards the south. Los Angeles, San Diego picking up an inch and a half of precipitation. Again, this one does not take us through the entirety of the event for the southwest. This one, however, will, and you can see that rain does affect Colorado, not insanely, but at least the San Juan mountains here will get in on some of that snowfall, and a good portion of Utah and Nevada. But again, California taking the brunt of this thing in terms of all that precip. Look at that, widespread amounts over 6, 7, 8 inches in terms of rainfall. And you can see a second one starts moving and a second storm on Thursday. So there's not going to be much break. And I do want to show you now more of the broad United States, because this system isn't just going to be affecting the southwest. It's going to move into portions of the plains. And let's just stick with the NAM 12KM since I'm already showing this model. So again, there's a progression of that storm. Here's the timeline, 4 p.m. today. You can see this is what it looked like, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 9 now, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see it continues. If you're seeing rain right now, you're probably going to continue seeing it for a good while across California, especially San Francisco, Sacramento, and if you aren't seeing it yet, Santa Monica, Santa Barbara, and San Diego, Los Angeles, Hanford. Those areas will start picking up on it pretty soon, and you can see that it does kind of speed up and zoom out by the time it's late Tuesday, early Wednesday, about time for this thing to move on, and it does. And the thing is that while this beast is sitting across the southwest, most of the population eastward is still being impacted directly by it. However, it's not by rain or whatnot. It's by strong winds and very, very warm temperatures. This thing pumps a ton of warm air into the United States, and you could see Wednesday for many cities, like for say my area in Chicago, could be a record. It could break a record of almost 7 degrees Fahrenheit. And yeah, I think the NAM, this model, even underestimates some of these warmer temperatures. I think it could honestly get even warmer than 60s, which it shows across Iowa. I think a different model that shows better this scenario is the GFS. Look at that. Yeah, you're at 60s all the way into southern Minnesota, Wisconsin. Very unusual. Green Bay, 60 potentially again degrees Fahrenheit, and you can see Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, 70s and 80s, pretty widespread. So let's go back to the NAM, as I did jump around just to show you the temperature side of this thing. But let me show you the snowy side to this. Again, and you can see it shifts through the mountains, blows through Wyoming and to Colorado, and look, it's a wind beast. All right off the bat, it's already a very strong system. As it moves through the mountains, kind of gets weakened, but it intensifies very quickly. It loses no time doing so, and the winds are very, very strong. And look, it's so quick moving that the snowy side to this thing won't be a major kind of problem, if you will, but it will be very intense. The snow that will be falling is very fast. You can see these are 3-hour intervals. So pick one location, and it really doesn't spend more than 4 to 5 hours across one given time. And I do want to show you. Look at this. Say you have Fargo, North Dakota, right? I'm kind of on that border, and boom, it starts right there into a late Wednesday, and it's out of there by the time barely even Thursday rolls around. So it's really a quick moving system. It does have a bit of rain for the northern Minnesota area. You see the cold front's kind of underdeveloped, not much with it. And again, that warm air is very, very powerful, pushing the precip way up here. And we do have another system moving in onto the west at that time. So again, total snowfall, the models haven't done the best job kind of picking up on it because of how quick it occurs. There definitely could be a swath of, say, 4 to, I would say, 6 inches across the northern central United States. But again, mainly a lot of this activity from this storm is across the west. But there will be a lot of wind associated with this beast. In fact, if I take a look at the MSLP and 10 meter wind, you can see that there are knots, widespread knots into Iowa, Nebraska, reaching in the 30s. Which in terms of miles per hour winds, that's 30 to 40 mile per hours, which is pretty strong again, and that you can see kind of continues to strengthen. And the Great Lakes, Michigan, the Superior, Huron do pick up quite a bit of strong winds. Look at that right there on Kansas potentially as it moves on Wednesday. Eastern Kansas, Western Kansas could be very blasted with some very strong winds. And yeah, so that's the NAM 12KM version of this. Let's take a look at a few more models, as this is just one of many. So I want to show you as many scenarios as possible. And since we have it's relatively far, or not far out, we could start using some of these short range models. And you can see this model shows even more strength through the system in terms of its winds. I mean, very, very large wind feel of a very strong potent winds. But let's take a look at what this model shows in terms of its evolution, in terms of snow and rain and whatever else it does. So again, it takes its sweet old time across the Californias, or California. There's not two Californias. And notice that there is a lot of rain. It does intensify, probably reaching again its peak intensity around this time tomorrow for much of the area of California. It does start across Nevada and Utah by the time it's late Monday, early Tuesday, and you can see Los Angeles picks up most of its rain, and San Diego and Southern California starting again late Monday into early Tuesday, ending by the time Tuesday late afternoon rolls around. Notice it speeds through the mountains, right, and you can see it does produce a bit more rain according to this model across the plains, and a decent bit of snow and a ton of wind, and also a lot of warm air. And you can see its cold front is a bit stronger. Hopefully not a significant amount of severe weather develops with this one, but it's definitely a potential. And we'll be addressing that in further videos, whether or not the situation with that is risky and whatnot. And notice that another system does start moving into California at this time in terms of total snowfall. Again, this model, no matter what scenario you look at, the snowfall and the precipitation is relatively high. You can see that is quite a good amount across California, even the Midwest. Total snowfall definitely a decent amount as well. I think it's underdoing some of these snowfall totals across the north, though. Let's take a look at the Canadian. So this is now a high res, or not a high res, it's more of a global model, and you can see that what it does is it shows a lot of snow again up down into the southwest, a bit less towards the kind of northern portions, but it definitely shows a beast. And you can see that thing actually has a bit of snow a bit further towards the south, and a lot of more rain than what the other models show. And again, a ton of warm air. This thing probably even warmer than what the GFS shows. Let's take a look at those 2 meter temperature shaded. Look at the highs on Wednesday, 70s into Iowa, Illinois. That is extreme. I've lived here my whole life, and I remember a few days in mid-December that have reached 70s, if any at all. Obviously, the pattern does trend cooler in the long term. You can see right there, pretty cold temperatures across the same locations that see 70s. Pretty quick downturn, but that's why this is such an extreme, because these upbursts of very warm air are very short-lived, but they are extreme. So again, there's that storm. By Wednesday, Tuesday, it's moving into the mountains, and by the time it's a Thursday, very early Thursday, late Wednesday, we do have a massive beast across the Midwest, producing lots of wind and snow for Canada and the Midwest. And Okay, by the time it kind of draws away, it does add a bit more snow than say what the GFS shows across the plains, and a lot across the southwest. So those are the main models I want to show you from the high res and the global. Except I have one more, the European, on this website. And again, there it is. There's our system. You can see here's a timeline using UTC, which is kind of I think what is universal time zone. I don't know what basically this is assuming London's time, 12Z, right? So you have to subtract how many hours you have away from London. For example, Central Standard I think is 6 hours away, so that means this is 6. For the mountains it's a bit more, and yeah, it's just kind of a back and forth like that, or maybe even 5 for the Central. But yeah, it's a bit of an awkward wording, these things, but you just got to know how to read it. So for the Pacific, I'm assuming this would be 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning, and again, or if it's this one is 4 to 5 in the afternoon, this one it's 7 to 8 in the afternoon. So it's just all adjusted on like 6-hour periods. And notice that again, that system speeds through right the mountains, the northwest, the southwest, and it does leave a lot of precip. I'll show you that. But look at this beast, the European develops. I mean, that is a monster. The wind, the rain is pretty not as significant because of again how quickly it is moving. A bit of snow on the northern side and a lot of warm air, and another system does move into the southwest while that one's still occurring. And you can see the pattern changes later on. It's a bit different. Still uncertain on what the models exactly do with it, but it's definitely definitely a bit different. And let's take a gander at some of the total accumulated precipitations. Let's just go through 240, and you can see that the two systems combined could leave well over even a foot of liquid across portions of the mountains, which obviously a lot of that will fall as snow. Which, speaking of which, let's take a look at that total snowfall from the European model. Again, this is assuming all like the two systems that the models do show, and I mean, some of these amounts are legendary, assuming they do fold out like the model shows, which is a very, very reasonable bet. 80 to 100 inches. And you can see the snow it leaves across the plains, according to this model, is definitely not bad. Yeah, right there. So you can see also, Nevada, the Utah picking up decent amounts. So this isn't just kind of California, but just in general, the Southwest, a very, very strong system. I do want to click on one of these locations here and see if they're mentioning any chance of that snow from that system. And you can see they are, best chance for snow accumulation. It will be fast. So obviously they are saying significant snow and ice accumulations are possible. Even though the models don't show a lot, this thing is fast, and this thing has very heavy snowfall rates. So if it does occur, I do think that there could be amounts of 6 to 12 inches potentially. And you can see that yes, they definitely are mentioning that, to say the least. So yeah, that's basically it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next episode. See ya. Bye.